And so just take a moment to find a comfortable posture. Feel free to use whatever supports you need, whether it is a chair, leaning against a wall, cushions, blankets, whatever you need to be really comfortable and still. And we begin, as always, if you're familiar with it, by settling body, speech and mind in the natural states. So if you are familiar with it, do it in your own time. And it's a process of first of all bringing our awareness into the body, becoming aware of what it is like to have this body, and setting ourselves at ease, relaxing into this posture, letting go of any tension, tightness that we're holding in the body. And just connecting with the breath in the body. You don't have to look very far to find it. The breath rises up to meet you moment to moment. And so with the out-breath we can relax, loosen up, release. And just really noticing this breathing body, whatever's been bubbling away from last week, any thoughts about next week, you can let them go for now, just allowing yourself to be here with the rhythmic flow of the breathing. And while you are noticing the breath moment to moment, you might want to keep some connection down to the soles of the feet, or your body's in contact with the ground, reminding you that we're a collaboration with this earth, not separate from, but part of an interconnected network in every moment. And to help us stabilize the mind and bring a sense of clarity and focus to the practice, in your own time, count 21 rounds of respiration, perhaps counting at the very end of every inhalation. And now I want you to select something that you would like to work with today. Sometimes the mind might want to do that job for you. So if you can resist the mind leaping to the first thing it wants to pick over, and staying connected with the body, just sensing in your life whatever issues or situations are activating you, whatever you think needs and wants attention in your life. Just mulling over whatever you think needs and wants attention, something that trips off a kind of painful reactivity. It can be the place you bring this meditation to today. And so we sense what naturally comes to consciousness, some difficult situation, a sense of not liking the self perhaps, where you might feel caught in fear, grief or anger, hurt. Perhaps there's a question, which maybe was a little bit quiet now, but starting to bubble up into awareness. Perhaps would like to be seen and contemplated. And when you're ready, you can make your selection, choose that question or challenge that you want to bring attention to today. Whether it's very clear or maybe it's a little bit cloudy, just select one thing that you're going to sit with today. It is important that you make a choice before we continue with the practice. And the first thing is allowing this question or challenge to sit with you. Recognizing, okay, this is part of the experience of my life right now. This challenge, dilemma, question, difficult experience is part of my experience right now. And so very honestly, very wholeheartedly acknowledge the actuality. This is a part of my life. We're not trying to do anything with it right now. And just allowing it to be there, a willingness not to try to get rid of anything, fix anything, change anything. Recognizing and agreeing to be with it. And then we might notice, where does this situation or challenge fit in the body and mind being? Does it seem to weigh heavy on the heart? Do you feel it in some tightness of the shoulders? Is it in the tension in the forehead, in the gut? Or does it feel more primarily mind-based? Does it feel like a fogginess of mind, a lack of clarity or focus? And wherever you find it, and in whatever way you find it, just doing your very best to sit with it and welcome it as it is. See if you can be curious about those sensations. Notice if you want to move away or resist them, that's natural. But see if you can be with them with kindness and curiosity, even just for a moment. And remember to breathe. If you notice your breathing becoming shorter, sharper, perhaps taking control temporarily, breathing deeply. You might want to use words to help you stay connected to the physical part of your experience, like tight, swirling, or hard, whatever feels right for you. So in this moment, you're just listening to your body's expression. You're not trying to make anything happen or stop anything from happening. And as we sit with this challenge or question and welcome it as it is, we can acknowledge that some process of transformation is already underway. Without having to go any further, some healing and understanding has begun. As we've stopped fighting this situation, stopped trying to poke and prod it, but sitting with it, naturally it might start to look a bit different. But we can start to investigate this challenge with open-hearted awareness. So being sure to act with kindness towards ourselves, not criticizing ourselves for feeling this way or having this challenge. We might begin to investigate it. And however you investigate might be different for you. You're welcome to go down whatever track feels most alive. And some people start right from the start, just trying to get a sense for what am I believing? Am I believing there is no way out of this situation? Am I believing that I'm a bad person or not worthy? Am I believing another person doesn't really care about me? Am I coming to terms with the fact that my life might not work out the way I wanted it to be? So taking a moment to just sense what beliefs are here. Perhaps sensing how that belief lives in the body. When you acknowledge that belief, is there a new tightness? And then sensing the worst part of this experience. What is the absolute worst part? What are you really afraid of? Letting that sense of what is the worst part to be felt, see the true face, the true root of this experience. Remember once again to breathe deeply if you notice your breathing changing. And now get a sense for stepping back from the situation, challenge, giving it space, widening out your attention again so you're not so concentrated but occupying a much larger space. And feeling connected to each other in this group, this supportive environment. And we can contemplate this quote from Viktor Frankl. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. And so as we take that step back and try and look at the situation from a more neutral perspective, can we see our situation and all those people involved in a larger context from a more neutral position? Can we see the many conditions and circumstances that have led to this event? And see how our limited perspective might not have been entirely true. Can we see how in time things can change in many ways? And that even though our situation may seem challenging now, from the vantage point of a month or a year or a decade, these challenges will seem much more manageable. Can we take a moment to see our challenge from the perspective of any other people who are involved? And we can ask ourselves a final question, while not trying to force an answer out, but listening to a deeper part of our being, our natural intuition, our creativity, our problem solving. As I contemplate this challenge, what does it need? What do I need? If you could listen and feel from the most awake part of your own being, what do I need? Is it enough to simply see and recognize this situation from another perspective? Or is there one practical step I can take next in order to move towards a more harmonic state for this question, this challenge? What is my next right step? And there's no right answer here. The right next step could be an external action for an external problem. It could be an internal action, such as acceptance, patience, compassion, for an internal problem. It could be both. But asking ourselves, what will truly bring me back to harmony and allow me to let go of this particular challenge? And in your own time, when it feels right, coming back to the breathing body, gently letting that practice go. Like watching the calming waves wash up on shore. Just watch this rhythmic flow of the breathing for a while in a very calm and soothing way. And when you're ready, you can bring your practice to a close.